Driving into Buffalo Trace. Speed limit 10. We're arriving today, this is 10 past 9, so they open at 9. So the main queue should have already started moving. Well, there is still a queue though at this time. It's significantly shorter though. It's only a couple of snakes deep. Well, single snake deep actually. But even the car park, comparative to this time yesterday, the car park was absolutely chockers. So, we've just been told today is Blanton's day, and they have stag on the bar. If they said if you're not doing a tour, we are doing a tour, but we might. When we will see. This looks like a good enough spot here. So here we are. It's always good. We've just parked down the end here. It's always good to park at this like far end of the car park, I think, because when you leave, you will have done lots of walking. You're going to come out from down there. So then having your car here close is nice. And the queue where you'll be waiting will be down there. You'll have loads of time to wait. So do this little walk here. Doesn't seem like much, but if you're at the far end of the car park, you want to kind of like get back to the car as quickly as possible, especially if you're carrying lots of like heavy goods and stuff. Yeah. Buffalo Trace. We might almost end up walking just straight in today. This line is really close. We can see that like the doggos are out in force again. Let's get some better shots of this entry here. We've seen some single oak project bottles yesterday where they had all those. George T. Stagg, OFCs, old charter oak.
Oh, they just smashed them. So you can wear buffalo.
Morning.
How are you all today?
Good, thank you. So we've come just out of check-in. We're coming back up the hill, and again, we parked just here on the end. But when you're carrying like this, guys, all those bottles out, this is prime real estate down the end here. That's where you want to park your car. We'll see what's coming out of the shop today. We can see the steam running today. The plant is open. It's a working day today now. So we'll be able to see some of the things going on site. Might hope to catch a barrel rolling somewhere too. Of the buffalo.
Let me show you precise.
And Dre's going to go and say hello to the buffalo for size. You can touch the horns. We've got about an hour until our tour, so we're going to go for a short walk. We've been told that there's basically a couple of roads when we come in. Let me just spin this round. When we come into the visitor center, you can go straight down there to Warehouse V. That's a single barrel warehouse where they're aging just a million barrels and the only single barrel warehouse for bonded. And then the two side roads off there. And you can come all the way down up this road here, which is through the gardens. We can walk through the gardens, but if we walk up here, we can make our way to Warehouse X. So we're going to walk up here and see if we can see Warehouse X.
That's actually going to be a little bit later in the video because we're going to have to spin around and go down to the Blanton's bottling house, because we will cover this in the garden tour in just a minute.
You can see the bottling house here. Blanton's Special Reserve, single barrels, getting ready to go out. Empty glass bottles by PGP Glass, made in India. Pallets shall not exceed 8 high.
Just down the edge.
Old boiler house. Here we can see they're bottling up the Blantons. Feeling the Blantons, and there's just a crack of a window there and it smells divine. Whiskey Woodcraft. Come down off the side road here. Hey doggo. Can see Whiskey Woodcraft down in the office here. Yeah, I think we can. This is the
I was just gonna say. Yeah, the red colored wood, that's cherry. That actually came from a tree that fell on the campus.
Oh, wow.
It was a 100-year-old cherry tree growing on the other side of the visitor center, near the Blanton cabin. It fell down, landed on a railing just like the one you're standing in front of here. If you look over there, you see the railing goes along and there's a big scoop in it where that tree did. I was working as a tour guide at the time, but as soon as that cherry tree came down, all the guys in the woodcraft shop were over there like
drooling over it.
They were like dibs.
Yeah.
And they had it hauled off to a mill and slabbed out, and it's taken a few years to cure, but they're starting to incorporate it in projects now, which is it's just neat. Any timbers that come out of the warehouses, they used to dispose of those. They've been supporting the barrels for over 100 years in many cases, and there may be some decay in them or some wear from barrels rolling in and out on them. They used to throw this out or go to the landfill.
Sure.
John's second day, John runs the wood shop. His second day on the job, he saw a dumpster full of these timbers, and he was like, "Time out, wait! I get first dibs on all timbers. Anything, He calls it timber harvesting now. There's a chunk of wood here that came. This was a floorboard from Warehouse C. It's also a shameless plug for a favorable Google review, which we're showing the
Oh.
But look at that. That's 80 years of growth on it.
Oh,
I mean, that's insane. Yeah, you're not gonna find that at Lowe's.
I like the talk
The
about
life cycle of
the
a
life
barrel?
cycle.
Yeah.
Come on. Yeah, that's very cool.
Oh,
And then new life, what you're talking about right now.
Yeah.
Nice.
So we make barware and things like that. You'll see the cocktail muddlers and the cigar rests and Glencairn flights and things like that up in the gift shop. I make these cigar box guitars. I can't make them fast enough. They go in the gift shop for 90 minutes and they're gone.
Wow.
We did have a significant flood in the shop in April.
Yeah, it made the news.
Remember seeing that,
Yeah, we were expecting a quarter-inch of water on the patio, because that's what we had in February with a 40-foot crest, and that's what they were predicting. We ended up getting 48 feet, over 48.
No.
See the buffalo on top of the shadow box there?
Yeah.
See the line on his back? That's the high water mark. Yeah.
This whole room.
Oh yeah, everything except that jointer up there, which is over 100 years old, and this flag over here. Everything else went underwater.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, the shop did need a good thorough cleaning. That's not how we were envisioning getting it done now. Yeah. Yeah, we were prepared for that 40-foot crest, but then they kept, it just went up.
How far back is the river?
The river's about 200 yards that way.
Holy cow.
But it doesn't.
And it's
this
still
is one of the
okay.
lower spots on campus. And I was here the day afterwards, and there was 3 feet of water in here. And everything was a jungle. Yeah, I think it was in shock for 5 days. Every time you went around the corner, you saw something else that you never thought you'd ever see. And you're like, well, that's something new.
Well, it smells like wood in here again, so they did a good job.
They actually have a candle in the gift shop that is the whiskey woodcraft scent now.
Somebody knows how to marketing.
Yeah, that cracked me up when I was like, wait a minute, how, where did, I had too many questions. It actually smells pretty nice, and once you're done using the candle, you get a nice glass out of it too. With the Whiskey Woodcraft logo on it. It's one of the first things we have with the logo. They'll put anything you want on a barrelhead, ship it anywhere in the country for $250. As long as it doesn't get anybody fired.
Sure.
It's usually copyright and logo things that we gotta watch out for, but once in a while we'll get a double entendre or something that's just too blue, and John will make that call. If you write to whiskeywoodcraft@buffalotrace.com, we got a couple order forms. John gets those directly, and a lot of times people will send in design ideas to him, and he'll coach you through the process. If you're interested, I've got an order form for you.
Yeah, I'll take one.
There you go.
Thank you so
You
much.
sir?
We got a couple yesterday.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. We got a couple of the E.H. Taylor.
Oh, okay.
Barrelheads.
Barrelheads.
Yeah.
Did you talk to John yesterday?
Thank you so
Yeah.
Thanks for
I
coming
think-
by, guys. Nice
was
to
it-
meet you. We'll see you next time you come down the road, I hope.
Absolutely.
Counting on it.
Andrea, was it John we spoke to yesterday when we were getting the barrelheads? I can't remember his name now.
Okay. He said he spoke with a nice British couple, and
That would be us.
I was going to venture that might be.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'd say that's probably us.
I was like, what's those nice British people I heard were coming my way?
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, we repurpose everything. Barrelheads, barrel staves, timbers that come out of the rick houses, trees that fall down on campus. I started making these guitars just because it seemed like a good idea. I've been thinking about it for a long time, and things kind of came together here. But when the time came and they expanded the shop, these guitars got me a job in here. So I wasn't looking for I retired from a career in the tree business, 50 years of tree work, and I still have all my fingers. That's a trick.
And now you're back risking them.
I play, and I'm not gonna risk them too much. not gonna jeopardize them. But I do enjoy the work.
The guitars look great though.
Pardon?
The guitars look great.
Well, thank you. They come pretty good too. That one's tuned pretty low. That's an E, 3-string open tuning. Then I've got a 5-string open tune in the key of G. I can't get this cigar box anymore. Actually, play this one up sometimes. A lot of sound in this box, and also that's a lid from a Taylor can for a.
Yeah.
Yeah. I read this article about resonators and cigar box guitars, and they had pictures of pint, quart, and gallon paint can lids. I was a tour guide for 2.5 years, so I'm walking the campus, always looking for materials. I couldn't sleep that night. I went through every tour in my head, like, where have I seen these paint can lids? And then I come in the next morning, there's Colonel Taylor on the shelf in the cardboard tube with the lid. And I'm like, Eureka, I've got it. Yeah. So, gives a nice presence to this guitar.
Yeah.
So, are you guys touring bourbon country then?
Yeah, we are 16 days of basically whiskey.
Oh, your liver, I'm sorry.
Well, no, because I'm driving, so I'm doing a lot more of the visiting and looking around stuff than I am of the actual drinking.
Especially with the back roads, you gotta be careful.
Yeah, exactly, and a lot of deer and stuff around as well. So
we just started really traveling. The deer have.
Yeah.
And with the kids started coming back to school a week ago Sunday, so the police are everywhere.
Well, it's lovely to meet you. We've got 5 minutes before the tour. I'll shake your hand, and
Okay.
we got some of your barrelheads coming. So
Good. I know they're working away at it.
yeah, can't wait. Thank you very much.
See you down the road. Enjoy the tour.
Keep doing what you're doing. This is great.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you. So, it's part of the Arboretum tour. We're gonna jump in the bus. and they'll drive us up the top, and I believe we walk back down.
So I'm going to pour, and while you're sipping, I'm going to talk about this Blanton's called Stony Point. So this was Blanton's house from the time he became the president, which was in the early 20s. Blanton became the president of Buffalo Trace in 1921. He had been working here since age 16. He grew up literally the highway down there. If you threw a stone just right over here, you'd hit the farm called Beach's Farm, and that's where he grew up. He came over here when he was 16, late 1890s, and begged George T. Stagg for a job. And George T. Stagg finally relented and gave him a job in the office. And so he became an office boy and then never left this property. He loved this property so much, and he was so dedicated it that they allowed him to build this arts and crafts house. They call it the mansion, but it's really, it's you know, it's a lovely large house, but for the time it was built in 1934, it was a pretty darn big house. It is that arts and crafts style home, and arts and crafts really is about bringing nature. It's like not standing out from nature, but blending in with nature. Thus the beautiful limestone block, because limestone is everywhere in Kentucky. You're standing on limestone. And also what's interesting is limestone is what makes much better bourbon and whiskey, because when the water goes through the limestone, it takes all the iron out of the water. Iron doesn't taste good in whiskey. So that's one thing Kentucky always had going for it to make good bourbon and whiskeys, because of the water, just naturally. So Blanton built this. He also died in this house in 1959. So he lived there the whole time. It was rumored that he didn't ever leave the property except to go to one meeting in Louisville, but he never wanted to leave the property. So he brought people here, just like I'm doing with you right about now. He'd bring people here and have big burgoo parties. Anyone know what a burgoo party is? You guys know, can you explain it? You had some, where'd you have some burgoo?
At Kentucky Derby Museum.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
So explain it to everybody else. What is burgoo?
Well, I'll tell a little bit, but Julie's got to tell a little bit too. It's a combination of like all kinds of pulled meats, and this particular burgoo had lima beans, peas, and corn in it as well, and maybe some onion. I didn't detect any though. But it's just a combination of whatever you have on hand, from what I understand. And then what you looked up said that it was traditionally
squirrel.
Venison.
What else?
Yeah.
Traditionally, it would have been whatever kind of game meat
had.
you would have. Yeah, squirrel, rabbit,
So it sounds
pheasant,
like those things you just kind of
venison,
jump
deer. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
it was
basically,
delicious.
but everything that you have else in your refrigerator goes into the pot. And we're going to see the burgoo pots when we get to the bottom of the hill, where he actually had two pots, and he would entertain both the people who were employed here, but he would invite all of his friends here because he didn't want to leave. And then he would pull off a barrel and puncture it and give everybody a fresh out of the barrel pint or, liter. Before they left. So I would have really loved to his
friends, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that was kind of cool. But the arts and crafts style is really you can tell it because it usually has big overhang, fairly large overhangs over the windows and porches like this, as well as the fenestered windows. So all those separate window panes is classic arts and crafts style. And as you look out this way, the beautiful view of the van. No, just van. There's no other place to park the van, unfortunately. So he designed this garden. Blanton designed the grounds. Like I said, kind of based on traditional Southern style plantation, but because there's such a hill here, and the approach was a different direction. Usually you would come plantation style, you come straight at the house, right? So that's not the way it's going to work. But he built walls, retaining walls, and we're going to walk through those in just a minute when you're done tasting, and we'll see the original walls and the plantings that we put in. Originally down here, you can see there's some roses down here, but it was originally a rose garden. But when they recovered this garden in 2010, they started saying, well, we need to do something with it up here. They took the roses out because roses actually don't grow super well in Kentucky. It's too hot and humid, and they get lots of fungus and all that kind of stuff. So someplace that's a little less humid, roses grow well. Certain few roses do grow well here. As you can see, the arbor over there has some wisteria. Wisteria is not native, but it grows like a weed here. So there's no problem growing wisteria. But we're going to be walking through the gardens, and then we'll come up and around, and then we're going to walk all kind of wander back down to the gift shop. Maples really grow well here in Kentucky. This is a Japanese maple. It's not a red one. We have, and it's also, it grows like this. It grows downward. And so you'll see this a lot more typically in Asian gardens. Yeah. So we're going to come back through here so you can kind of see. Watch your steps. There's all sorts of different uneven steps. So this bench, we unearthed it. I mean, this was totally overgrown. And so this bench was unearthed, and this was original to Blanton's garden. He really loved plants. He was an amateur botanist, and of course he loved to cook too. And so I think it's pretty cool. He seemed like a cool dude.
To stop, I bet. So far.
So the original garages.
So there was a root cellar in here to keep things cool. Refrigeration in the 30s was probably limited. They probably did have it, but it was going to be limited. We have some, looks like climbing on there, a honeysuckle. Over here is a, spacing on the name, something Grace. No. Don't come to me. But that arch there was not original to Blanton, but this space was. And he, like I said, he was a horticulturist, and so he liked to start plants, he liked to grow them, and so this was probably covered, but not with what we put up there right at the moment. And this canis right in front of you, that looks very tropical. It is tropical, it grows really well, but it is not. There's some more bacteria. Yeah. And then what we'll do is we'll wind around this way.
Nice little park here. For the Brits, this is Blanton's allotment, so kind of garden beds and cold frames. They put mini greenhouses in. And each of these, and you can see the walking paths around it, would be where he'd grow his veg. And this is a really cool arch here, made out of staves.
And then over here with the shingled roof is the smokehouse, which is an original log cabin type build with the mortar and the local logs. This is a Rose of Sharon. It's a real pretty one that's got purple on it. It blooms It blooms almost all summer. It starts blooming probably in June, and it just keeps going. It's really fun. It is not native, but it loves it in Kentucky.
Old tool shed. And the smokehouse.
Yeah, we're going to come down this way.
There is Warehouse X just up here, so we're going to keep on walking up. I don't think we'll probably get up here on the tour later for the garden tour, but they only do the garden tour once a year. Sorry, once a year, once a week all year. So
And whiskeys. Our master distiller here is very much into it. And after the 2006 tornado that ripped off about a third of the roof of the OFC, that old, beautiful old brick warehouse right across from the doors of the gift house of the visitor center, a third of that was gone, and they couldn't get up there for 6 to 7 months because the elevators, they couldn't get up there to bring the barrels down. So they were exposed to sun, rain, wind, and when they finally got up there and tested them, make sure they're okay, it was the best bourbon they'd ever tasted. And they bottled it as the 2006 D.H. Taylor Tornado Surviving Bourbon, and it's sold for $75 a bottle. And then if you can find one of those bottles on the market today for less than $10,000, wow, you'd be doing well. So our master distiller said, there's something going on here. And so this actual, you can see there's a roll top on there. So they roll the part of the roof back and expose some of our barrels to wind, sun, and rain, because we're always looking for the next really best tasting bourbon. They put different kinds of herbs in them, and sometimes we get to taste some of these experimental bourbons when they're released. Some of them are kind of weird. There was a hops one. They put some hops in one. I'm like, I don't know. I think hops needs to remain. Yeah. You know, I was like, that's probably why you haven't seen it in barrels, in bottles yet. But you know, it's always cool. So they're always trying to come up with something new. So we're just going to wander on down the hill.
So there's something interesting. The Lot 23C barrel, which I'm wondering if that's a little George T. Sorry, a Junior Stag. It's aging away in there. In chamber 1. So here we are. Built in 2013, this experimental warehouse is designed to explore the limits of influences on the quality of whiskey. Constructed with 5 independent barrel chambers, Warehouse X allows for the experimentation into variables that impact aging barrels. Although small in scale, by only holding 150 aging barrels, this warehouse is expected to yield unprecedented data that will shape the future of barrel aging for many generations to come. So they talked yesterday about how they do an experiment and it takes them 10 years to find out, and this would be one such place where they would do those experiments, and 10 years later what they do here could yield decisions into the future 10 years. I wonder what has come out of this so far. That would be interesting to know.
That is called a distiller's fungus. And it's a fungus that's in the air, attaches itself to the trees, to the buildings, doesn't harm anybody, doesn't harm the trees, and the fungus feeds on the alcohol fumes. Okay? And so it's photosensitive because it's only black on the outside. And if you go into any of our warehouses, none of this is on the inside, but it's on your cars, it's everywhere. So this is why during Prohibition, if you were a bootlegger and making, your own pot stills in the woods, they'd find you because this fungus grows pretty quickly. So you were always on the move.
Snitch fungus.
Snitch fungus, exactly.
That's what you need to call it, snitch fungus. Great little playground with a little buffalo trace, water tower, little barrel roll.
It's a great playground. It's a good.
Little car park there. Look at this zebra building.
Yeah, I'll talk about. So, Blanton, like I said, he was very interested in entertaining and having people come to the distillery. That was part of his aim, is to make this a destination for his friends and for people who wanted to know more about the bourbon business and the whiskey business. This would have been a guest home that was down the hill from his mansion. And they did bring in, they dismantled very, very old log cabins and rebuilt this one using the old, but this was old logs. And so, but this was really, it was only built in 1935. The same with this much larger clubhouse down here, the Blanton's Clubhouse. And we'll walk by that on our way back.
This is the spring where, when it rains a lot, that flows out on top of. Oh.
Fill one of these up. Yeah.
Burgoo.
There's your recipe, yes. That's quite a complex. That's a very, very ornate recipe.
Was this the cookhouse?
This is
They all
the
look like
cookhouse,
this.
yeah. So there's a bread oven over here on the right where they cook the bread. And then these two big cast iron pots hold 112 gallons each. And it was said that during the Depression and World War, during the war, the employees could come and they had a lunchroom and they would feed the employees when there wasn't enough to go around. So you guys got your cups?
So that wraps up our trip to Buffalo Trace as I walk out with the last little piece of my Stag 25A. Such a lovely tour, such a lovely site. Gardens are beautiful, the experience is immaculate. The tasting as you go is a much nicer way to do that. And as we walk out, we're going to get right to the car, right here. So we're now going to head about an hour and a half up to Cincinnati to go to New Riff. It's a bit of a drive. This is why I only have the tiniest of pours, and I've been very selective on what I've kind of tasted and drank, because obviously we don't want to be drink driving and want to drink responsibly. So we will see you at New Riff.
Oh, hello Cincinnati. God, that's a great view. Drive into Cincinnati. Oh. Yeah, next up New Riff.